I reached max level in Fortnite's Demon Rush mode and beat the banana boss multiple times. And in this video, I'll show you all the best tips you need to dominate this mode, even at maximum difficulty. Demon Rush mode is part of the Fortnitemares 2025 K-pop Demon Hunter collab, and it features free cosmetic rewards, such as the Derpy Tiger banner that you get for completing 4 quests, the Playful Derpy emoticon you get for completing 8 quests, and the Hunter X spray that you get at 12 quests. And these quests are actually time-gated. They're not all available right now, and that's why leveling up early is the smart play, because I have a feeling that some of these later quests are going to be directly related to playing this game mode at the higher difficulties. And looking at this perks, we can see that your power level is going to be very low unless you grind a bit, because you get very important perks at certain stages, such as damage increases every 5 levels, extra HP and shield every 2 to 3 levels, a minor health regen at level 7 and level 18, a persistent ammo drip at level 12 and level 19, and perhaps the most important, an increase on your starting shards every 2 levels. And at max level you get 540, which allows you to take a common weapon all the way to epic. And this is a really important part of your strategy, because you definitely want the higher level weapons and you want to focus on 1, maybe 2 weapons at a time. Focusing on leveling up is going to unlock your true potential, and that comes down to mostly getting eliminations and secondary, surviving the round. I've seen a lot of people stumbling in this game mode, but the path to victory is actually very simple. Now let's drop into Horde Rush so I can give you my best loadouts, perk stacks, and tips as a max level player. Comment your thoughts on this version of Demon Rush. Personally, I think it's the best version of this game mode we've ever had. Round 1. And in the earliest part of the game, you just want to focus on looting as much as possible. I see a lot of people playing stationary at this point, and you want to just try to get some decent guns. Realistically, at this level, the first round of zombies, they're gonna die pretty much instantly. So you're just trying to get points, because the real way you're gonna level up is through getting points. It's just that getting a limbs is the most efficient way to get points. However, as you get multipliers by doing more rounds, you're going to get rewarded more for actually looting. And this can actually make the difference between being the #1 scorer in the game or not. It's best not to upgrade any of these weapons immediately, because they're coming out common. Once the Zeds actually show up, we'll be focusing on destroying the crystals and getting the rare chests that are inside, because that's going to be a more efficient use of your currency that you use to upgrade weapons, the monster shard. As you can see, we already have the 540 because of our level 20 starting bonus, but we're holding on to that for right now. We've also gotten 100 shield just through that healing self-regen drip. Normally, you would have to manually get your shield up all the time. Definitely pick up junk rifts. These are perfect for taking out crystals, one of the best things for crystals. Otherwise, you'll want to use dynamite or cluster bombs. Your pickaxe can do the job as well, but you can get swarmed by these Zeds pretty quickly. So as you'll see, it's gonna one-hit KO. Boom. We got a rare chest right there. Just fire off some hyperburst crit of this for a sec. This is actually a pretty decent weapon for the early game. Hunting rifle, this is really only a boss fight weapon, wouldn't take it. More important, I think, is heals. You want to have one really good primary weapon and then a bunch of heals or mobility. And this is really good too. A business turret, you have to get this from the vending machine. This is okay in the early game. The problem is it's not going to scale. The health and damage that these Zeds do, what actually are they called? Cube monsters? Let's just call them the Zeds, because that's one word, one syllable. They're gonna scale up as you go up in power. So more health, more damage, perhaps more speed, more variety. So certain weapons just do not increase in power. I wouldn't recommend taking any of the shotguns at all. The only one I would make an exception for in the early game is the shotgun SMG combo, the one that is both in one. Otherwise, really stick to one weapon. I definitely prefer the Hollow, because of one of the most powerful perks in the game. And let's see what we can do with perks. There it is. One of the most powerful perks in the game is Jump Balloon. And this is going to keep you out of danger. You're playing a different game to everyone else. Moderate shield regen. Honestly, if we do this, we don't need too many healing items. We can focus on getting explosives. And explosives are going to be really good for the bosses. Now take the time to heal between rounds and definitely get your weapon upgrades. And this is why I say don't do it immediately, because we got a green. And since we got a green hollow, we can immediately take this No, we can't. We need a little bit more monster part to get it to gold, but you see how much further along we are. We immediately have high tier weapon, a lot of heals, our shockwaves, the balloon. Now, in general, you're gonna want to stick with the ARs. The SMGs are gonna be very underpowered, and their perks are bad. There's some AR-specific perks that actually make you do quite a bit of damage. And there's really only 2 perk builds at the end of the day. You're either gonna go all in on melee like this guy, or you're gonna go all in on the rifle and balloon like I am. And this is gonna come down to the limited amount of perks that you have for melee. They all stack in the same way. And with the firearms, you stack critical. So any crit hits you can get, you put on your firearm. I've done 1,000 damage at a time with one shot. So really just hang back, keep tapping. Your power as the rifleman is that you should be taking out throwers like this. Taking out throwers and exploders, because you actually get early detonation bonuses, and we'll probably see that a little bit later. We're not getting the most dangerous zombies yet. Now the thing is, when you are in the melee form, there's also some self-kill perks. You definitely want to be taking those as well. They're much more important since you're just taking damage as you're chopping at people. Now, I normally wouldn't take this mask, actually. But I'm going to go ahead. Actually, you know what? Since I have balloon, I think it benefits me if I throw it up. And then I'm just in the air. So I have shockwave and I have this mask to do that with. Gain a mid-air leap and deal damage. This actually doesn't work for me, but this is something you would put on the melee build. And the revitalize perk. Now we can talk about less good perks, because this perk isn't actually as good as it seems. You have about a minute between every round to heal. Self-heal perks at the end of the round, not actually good. Unstoppable, decent perk, helps you push things back. This is probably critical in the later stages, so we will grab Unstoppable. There's a couple perks that are straight up bad. There's one that heals you as you stand still. Obviously, you cannot stand still in this game mode. There's an ammo recharge perk. As you can see, I have 525 ammo. You'll never need that perk, so don't waste your time. Ah, boss battle. Very good. We don't have explosives, and that would make this a lot easier, but I think this guy knows how to build his melee, so he's going to go all in on that. Something I forgot to mention, you can see this NPC here. Now, every survive round, there is going to be an NPC that you can hire. Make sure to get them. You'll probably see them before you get there. They'll just be fighting the zombies before you even arrive at the point. Nice. Cool. Okay, actually, let's just throw a shield down. This is one of the most powerful heals you can have in this mode, especially if you're stacking your self-heal on top of it, and then if you have a melee guy, he can just defend within this spot. Oh, this is good. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and drop shockwaves for Goo Gun, because once we get to the giant cube monster, this explosives, those are one of the best things you can have. Now, talking about some underrated perks, there is a perk that gives you cluster bombs into your inventory. And that's actually pretty good for dealing with crowds of enemies, but the damage doesn't scale. I think that's the real problem with throwables in this mode. There's no perks for throwables. If we could find, yes, here we go. We want Flowberry Fizz or Flowberry. Flowberry actually kind of good because you use it instantly. However, you don't have as much health in the pocket. The whole point is you slap it on and then you jump up. And you float for way longer. And this is going to let you do really big AR volleys. At this point, nah, don't really need the junk rifts. We can actually max level our gun right now, and we should. Boom. And talking about more perks. See, massively increase your crit chance when using melee. Whatever you're doing, you need to be getting the crits, because the crits are the key to scaling your damage. We don't have enough to re-roll, so we're just going to sit on that. Instead, quick tip that for some reason most people don't know. Emote in the little area here, and it will heal you. I think this is something that, like, less experienced players in this mode don't know. Focus on the flyers. If you're using the rifle, it's probably best to focus on the smaller ones, because your melee guys are just going to be rushing around, and they're going to confront the bigger ones, like, face to face, and you're not really going to get the finishes there. Get the Frozens, get the Flingers. No point even focusing on the shield ones. Now, there are a couple of perks that are actually really good for these situations. There's a resist poison perk. and a resist explosive perk. And you definitely want those if you're in the melee form. But they're pretty good too, even if you're just flying around doing the rifle thing like I am. Let's go grab this NPC so she doesn't die in Storm. And for some reason, the NPCs do seem to die in Storm between rounds. Their programming just can't chase the Storm like you can. They're not good at that. Minor to moderate increased damage while having more perks. See, this is one of the best perks in the game because you're just gonna stack more perks. Anything that scales your damage is very necessary. Run, crouch, sprint. I would prefer not to get this. I'm gonna wait. The fact that we have this unstoppable perk and then we just try to run faster, it's kind of a waste. Right here, we're gonna confront the cube monster. And let's just start picking up monster shards. Stack as many monster shards as we can now. Now we're at difficulty level 2. This has actually become pretty easy for us as a level 20. But I think it's more important that you see the entire game mode. So I would run level 1 until you actually complete it, even though you gain more XP the higher difficulty you do, because you actually have to see the bosses. You have to see how you have to deal with them. And so we're just firing goo gun into this guy, and once we run out of that, we'll start with our rifle. We've already taken about half of his HP here, and haven't even had to really contest him yet. See, my NPC died. In the middle of the round even. She just couldn't even withstand. Now, unfortunately, we don't have any crit perks right now. Our crit chance is very small, so we're just doing very basic damage. See, 139. It's our highest shot right now. That's why we have to stack these monster perks, because re-rolling for the correct perks in the final 2 rounds, it's really gonna help your damage. You know what? Let's also grab these multipliers. More points actually equals more XP, and that's exactly what you're looking for. Okay, probably unnecessary for us. Damn, he got so mad about that. Chill out, bro. Chill out. And here's kind of the problem with melee builds. You can see they're very concerned with just fighting the small guys. If you don't actually have a rifle dude in the round, the amount of damage you're doing to the bosses is going to be a lot less. That's why if you actually want to beat these things, you should probably be the rifle guy and not the melee guy. And there we go. We got him. We probably did 75% of the damage there. I don't take any of the cursed perks. I don't know what it is about the cursed perk. See, explosive builds. Destroyed on spawn, deal moderate damage. I guess this is cool if you don't have a good weapon. It seems like the cursed perks, as they imply, hurt you more than they help. We'll just do a ricochet. Final wish. Ricochet. Now we see some exploders. Safe detonation. I guess it only means safe detonation for you. So if your melee dudes are right next to the exploding ones. Okay, we got a legendary here, and these are gonna have gold loot in them. Gotta do a lot of damage though. Definitely mark these if you can. You need to gang up on the legendary guy. We top out at 143. It's a decent amount of damage, but man, we really need those critical perks. We could be hitting 1,000. The difference between 100 and 1,000. Like, now we have 2 legendaries here. Haven't even finished the first one. We're doing it though, we're getting it. Yes, what did he drop? I don't even know if it's worth it. Oh, shield bubble. Okay. You kind of hope for him to drop weapons, but a shield bubble, not bad. You can see the damage scaling though. We were eliminating these small ones in only a few shots before. Now it's taking like 7 to 8. Let's see what he has, man. They can have weapons that you can't get otherwise. Honestly. Oh no, come on. Yes, right at the split second. Okay, and look, this is the one shotgun I was talking about. What is it called? Pump and dump. There it is. The only shotgun thing I would recommend, because it scales off of your weapon perks that you're using for your AR, and at the same time it's using 2 types of ammo, so you're just doing way more DPS than you would with a regular shotgun. Monster part consumption. Consume monster parts to restore health. See, I don't actually want this. because there's a perk that'll give us damage based on the amount of parts we have. And that's what we want. That's what's gonna let us hit 1,000 damage at once. Here we go. Eliminations grant a stacking minor damage increase. Anything to get more damage right now. Whoa! Now this is interesting. I haven't had a game yet where the 2 mini-bosses spawn on the survive rounds back-to-back like this. That's kind of cool. So we get to check out both of them before we get to the survival rounds at the end. That one went down a lot easier though, huh? He could do nothing. Now showing you why this shotgun SMG combo is like a blessing and a curse. It's like okay for these little crowds, but it really seems like we get more effect from a basically kitted AR, just taking it up to gold. Ooh, a 330 there. Kind of crazy. These headshots with the shotgun are really what's justifying this, though. Nice. Just pick up this rift literally to squash more of these spawners. Oh my god, right next to me. Just max out the monster parts. Bro is getting mauled in the middle of this mob, to be honest. He really needed me to help him there. See, that's when you have melee, but you haven't gotten all the good perks. All about the perks, baby. It's all about the perks and actually leveling up outside of the game mode. So you have the residual healing and everything else. And here's another tip. If you do run melee, try to run multiple swords because they have different movement tech. So then you can combine them together. So like you'll have the extra run from Rumi, and then you'll have the double jump from the Typhoon, and then you'll have the dash from the Kinetic Blade, and that way you don't just get mauled in the middle of a mob. And I think you can actually improve the Kinetic Blade, right? I'm gonna check that right now. Yes, you can. So you could take this up to gold, and then it'll have 3 charges. Business turret, you're no longer good. We're about to hit the final boss, and business turret will do absolutely no damage at this point. Increased damage when at max health. This isn't actually bad, because they have to get through your shield. So as long as you keep your shield topped, that's a good perk. And a legendary, nice. I wonder if it has anything worth. Ooh, Typhoon Blade, there you go. Free Typhoon Blade. You can get the Typhoon Blade out of the vending machines. We haven't looked at the vending machines at all, but I'll be honest, I've found the items in there pretty unnecessary to winning this. Like, let's check this one. I think this is just K-pop items. No, okay, see. A twin fire slap shotgun. You don't need this shotgun. This shotgun is bad, actually. It fires 2 rounds at once. They're weak, and then you have to reload it forever. Precision airstrike, maybe, but you gotta save 1,000 monster parts for that, and that means you can't level up, you can't upgrade your weapons. The vending machine stuff is kind of a trap. Direct damage has a minor chance to instantly eliminate non-boss. That would be cool, but we don't have enough crit perks. Moderately increased when aiming down sight. See, this is a perk. This is the reason I get the holo in the first place. Now, somehow, the game has completely avoided the, it's completely avoided the crit perks for us today. We only got 1. When you stack them, you can do massive amounts of damage, but right now, we're kind of topping out at like 180. We really got to make sure to gang up on this guy, because we cannot get him alone. And now you can see why I kind of prefer the AR perks too, because he's a melee base, the final peel. Trying to go up and fight him with a sword is really not the best strat. At this point, you're like the mob manager if you're the melee guy. You kind of reverse roles. From in the beginning with AR, you could just pick off the people easily. Now you're about picking off the boss. I don't know if our Snoop Dogg is AFK or what. I think he's just asking us to carry him. Luckily, he's in my lobby, so like, I know exactly what I'm doing here. You're in the right lobby for this carry, brother. Now we're putting that Flowberry to use, so we get bigger bounces. Ah, yep. Stay away from Final Peely. You can just dash across the circle at you very fast. 194, 242. Nice. And there we go. Easily handled the final peel at second level difficulty. We definitely could have done that at level 3, though we would have needed that fourth guy for level 4 and 5. Man, the perks are so bad this gameplay, but that's cool. I mean, it's made me prove how efficient these tips are. At this point, you're just gonna be building up your score, and this is all about leveling up. This is infinite circles so that you can get more XP to get more levels. But really, I think you get a majority of your leveling done in the first 5 rounds. Oh, we actually got a mini boss right here. Look at this. So now they're gonna start comboing on us, and they're gonna do a lot of damage at this point. Our Snoop Dogg is already down again. Oh, but if we get too close to this vampire guy, he starts siphoning. Wow, you can really see how the melee falls off at the end of the game mode. Super good at the beginning and in the middle. Now, the only thing that makes the turret good at this level is that it'll actually attract them. You see how they beat it up? At least they're not beating you up for a second. The boss is still out there. They just chose to ignore him in the end. Because they're both melee. Oh, we lost another one. Got caught in the middle of the mob. Oh, snap. Now we got 2 bosses on the field. Here we go. This is where it gets wild. He didn't even get him down. He had to run away. Oh my god. Final shot. Oh, he's getting blocked. He's getting so blocked, and we're losing a bunch of health here. Finally, finally. Okay, this ain't working. Just dance between them for a second. Oh my god, dude! Wow! I literally couldn't even get my jump up. What happened? It's these big ones. If the big ones hit you multiple times in a row, you get a stun lock like that. And you see how their damage scales. Even though we have max level shield and health, we still get smashed. All he can do is run because he's stuck on the ground. Slowly accruing damage. The thing is, at max level health and shield, you have 300, 300, but the heals don't scale. That's why you need the ones with the most in them, like health packs or Flowberry Fizz. There's some med mists out here as well. Unfortunately, yep. Unfortunately, it was just gonna AI aimbot him. If this video helps you out, be sure to like and subscribe. Definitely play this game mode because, again, I feel like it's the best version of Horde Rush we've ever had. It's part of the Fortnite 2025 crossover, and there's some limited time rewards related to it as well.